Tune in Sundays at 3 p.m. to protect your money and build your wealth. Powered by Top and Top Insurance Agency.
Hi, I'm attorney Ernesto Borges. I'd like to invite you to join me for the Borges Report for lively discussions about legal matters, politics, government, entertainment, and the topics that concern you in your life. Start your Sunday the Borges way with the Borges Report.
The Borges Report with Ernesto Borges, Sunday mornings at 9 on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The following is paid programming. The views are not necessarily those of this station. It's the Accilvus Hour on Chicago's essential storyteller, WVON.
Good day, happy Saturday, happy Sabbath to all those believe, and happy Bud Billiken Day. Yes, this is the official kickoff to back to schools. Back to school is in 2 weeks, and you are listening to the Accilvus Hour. I am your co-host, Bomani Obadelli. My other co-host, Katrina Wiley, is out on a special assignment today. In fact, you can join her later on this afternoon. You might see her out at the Bud this morning, but also we are part of a Play Street series in North Lawndale today at 2 p.m. from 2 to 5 p.m. Some great fun going on the west side of Chicago, where she will be out there with community on Pulaski, 21st and Pulaski this afternoon between 2 and 5 p.m. And brothers and sisters, yes, we are live in the great studios of WVON. You are listening to the Accilvus Hour. Accilvus Inc. is a non-for-profit organization that uses a public health approach to addressing community violence through our myriad of programs. We're working in 9 communities across the city of Chicago. We're providing peacekeeping services in the west and southland suburbs, as well as we're working in 6 hospitals across the city of Chicago with our hospital response program. Accilvus Inc. is led by someone with lived experience and scholarship. The scholarship to do this work with fidelity, Mr. Levon Stone Sr. And Accilvus Inc. is brought to you by the Illinois Department of Human Services, Office of Gun Violence Prevention, the Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority, better known as ICJA, and our great friends over at the Market Reese Health Trust Foundation. Accilvus Inc. also co-leads in the city of Chicago, a violence reduction and violence prevention strategy by funding 11 communities, organizations across the city of Chicago in certain communities, particularly where violence has been high. For more information about Accilvus Inc., brothers and sisters, you can go on our website and check us out at www.acclivusinc. That's www.acclivusinc.org. Or you can give us a call if you have any questions or concerns, 312-766-7145. That's 312-766-7145. And brothers and sisters, I enjoy you and I enlighten you, implore you to join in the conversation this morning, 773-591-1690, 773-591-1690, as we talk about our responsibility to addressing community violence. And because I see the phone lines are lighting up, before we dive off into the conversation, we always want to pause and give our heartfelt condolences and prayers and thoughts to all families who are experiencing levels of violence and violent incidents that have taken place. Though they have been few, one violent act, one violent incident is too many. One death is too many. So we'll pause for the moment for that. All right, so let's talk about it. The data shows just some good news. It's something to celebrate because we celebrate all small gains. The month of July, the data is out, the police data is out, and it was the least most violent July, 35-year low within the city of Chicago. I think those are small wins, and shout out to all of the community violence interrupting organizations, as well as law enforcement and community for doing your part. I'm going to repeat this again. We're just not talking about Accilvus Inc., but there are several community-based organizations who are out with street outreach, providing violence interruption services across the city of Chicago. We just happen to be one of the largest organizations that is providing services on the South Side, but there are a myriad of organizations who are doing the work of violence prevention, violence interruption, who are out there every day putting their lives on the line to mediate conflict, to bring violence down. And why are we in this space? We're in this space because of bad public policy. That's why we're here, bad public policy. You know, if we look at 77 communities across the city of Chicago, brothers and sisters, one has to question, why out of 77 communities, 22 of them are the 22 of them are the most violent communities. And then when you break down the data in those communities, you find they're also the most poverty-stricken communities. The most marginalized people are living in those communities. So that's what we're dealing with. Bad public policy. We have to change and continue to fight. And it's structural violence. We have to continue to fight and resist this and fight for change within our community. So it's going to take all of us. Now, we come on here and we talk about the symptoms, the core symptoms of violence. It's not to negate or it's not to condone any levels of criminality. I want to make that very clear. But we have a issue where there are people in our community, and I'm talking about African Americans, have been forced into criminality based upon bad public policy. That's just a fact. Poverty and crime goes hand in hand, and you can look at all data that has been, some of us escape and survive in spite of, but I contend the whole is greater than the part. So as you guys are listening to the radio this morning, and some of you getting prepared to go out to the book, and I hope that you do, I don't want you to feel, listen, that is a tradition. This is 97th year history of this parade. And I just reject the notion of people, spreading hearsay and false information about what potentially this parade has become. I can tell you that we were there last year. By the way, our street outreach team will be out there at some point in spaces around there as deterrents to help make sure that people feel safe, to try to mediate and stop any potential conflict that might arrive. I've heard these rumors about the so-called takeovers taking place at the parade. I just want to say that I don't believe that that's true. Listen, young people are going to gather this morning. There'll be families. It's a tradition. Some of it's family tradition, where families will gather along King Drive and watch the parade. And I encourage people to do so, and should do it and feel great about it. And then there's a community celebration in the park afterwards where we're giving out great information. You got book bags and so many other things that will be given to young people. So listen, brothers and sisters, this should be a day, and I think I'm gonna reach out to the Buck Bill. I was talking with someone last night about it, and I'm gonna come to the calls, that we should probably look at if we cannot do it, because I think they start planning for next year's parade on Monday. Really getting back today, I remember growing up in Chicago where we had these no crime days and increase the peace events that took place at Seven Hills in Washington Park. So I think those things are important. And Al Stone, let me be clear with you. Shot Spotter has not deterred any crime. Shot Spotter is a walkie-talkie on a pole that lets you know that if there was some level of a shooting or incident that took place, it never saved any lives. In fact, the data shows just the opposite. And then some cities have also, large cities, have gotten rid of the Shot Spotter technology. So it's a false sense of hope that we've spent millions upon millions of dollars on that saved absolutely no one's life. Let me make that very clear. That data shows it. So, I mean, we get to stop with the tricks and the gimmicks, right? And and though law enforcement is a part of a strategy, let me make that very clear. It's a part of the public health approach that we use here at Accilvus. So we're not anti-law enforcement. In fact, I was sorry to see Superintendent Snelling go. I wish Fred Waller could stay on in perpetuity. He's a great guy. He's been a great partner, with CVI organizations, but I've known him 30 years as a policeman, somebody I respect. He has a job to do, but he also understands the community has a role, and there's some mutual respect there. So this is not anti-police, but let's make this very clear. More policing has not solved any problems in our community. In fact, when you've had up 13,500 policemen on the job, violence and murders were through the roof. So the data shows that. Violence if tempered down. We've had less murders with 12,000 police officers or 11,000 men and women on the street. So law enforcement alone does not solve a problem. But again, I ask you, brothers and sisters, what are you prepared to do to change the conditions in our community? Because clearly it is a disinvestment problem. When you look at the communities that doesn't have violence, they're thriving economically, socially. Their people are working. They have functioning businesses in their community. So you're not come in and just tell me, well, we're going to bring in the police and we're going to lock everybody up, and then what? So then the cycle continues. It is not help, but all right, I'm going to get off my soapbox because we got a full bank of calls, and I'm going to get to them. I see my first person here is Sister, is that Karen? Good morning, Sister Karen. You're on the Accilvus Hour.
Good morning, Obadeli. Well, greetings. How are you today?
I'm well, Sister Karen. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Thanks.
Listen, the answer to the violence and everything that we see negatively happen, if many of us would understand just 2 Chronicles 7:14, when it says, if my people, it don't say all people, it say my people. When my people turn from their wicked ways. And
no, it's called by my name. And what is his name, Sister Karen? Now, say if you're going to quote
I call him Yeshua.
Well, quote it then. Quote the whole scripture.
Yeshua with me. But I don't want to hold up the line. What I want to do is, I watched a gentleman named Kenny Williams. Many people hear me speak about him. Kenny Williams, Deborah Butler, there's a couple of them. When it came to the political arena was much more pleasing back in the day, and people were eager to get involved because they were being taught what positions mean. They was commuting with their community. You know, like when you go out walking for to get the petition signed. Yes. Well, I watched Kenny Williams take young people, and I watched young people go to the door and learn and teach the older people, and the older people turned around and teach them. What if we really turn this political arena into something real instead of a game or a hustle? You know how most people pay the drug addicts or whoever to get the signatures on. What if we stop all that? What if we stop calling it a game and really take it to a professional level? Because like you said, having nothing in our community, no resources, is the reason why the violence. But we can change that if we got more of our young people to get paid at the polls instead of the older people being there, instead of the old people just wanting to get money to go to bingo. Don't get me wrong. I'm an older person. I'm going to get there too. But we got to start looking at what are we doing? How serious are we taking things in our community to be better? Because when you want to call someone, when we want to say a racist is anybody who looks down on another human being because of their hue, because of the skin color. So that's all of us. I want us to stop blaming the obvious beast, because the beast is doing very well on their position. It's us. I tell everybody, and you know, Obadeli, I'm like this on and off the phone. When are we going to look in the mirror and see the snakes and the sneakiness that we have done to just make money? And I don't knock nobody for making money, but I want us all to ask ourselves this. Where do we see any greatness in the money that many people have made? When have we seen 2 or 3 of our brothers and sisters get together, buy a building, buy land? I'm not saying it's not happening. Don't get me wrong. But Obadeli, many probably don't know that behind the scenes, you are really a leader. You are really a man that cares. You are really about to have one of the biggest political consulting firms in the country, in the world. but it's time that you connect with real people. Because this chasing dollars and everybody's one white man here, one white man there, these white men come into our communities and they pay our boys. I call them boys. Because anytime you sit at the table banging a white man to choose you to convince your black people to vote for him, that's a boy. Because a man wouldn't allow that. So I say over the airwaves today, how about we all look in the mirror? Change our ways, start doing the right thing, include our young people, because guess what? Young people are watching. Young people are investigating. Young people are seeing how much these organizations, these people are making. Yes, politics is here. You're going to play anybody's politics if you're in their world. And I want everybody to listen to this too. America, it is a corporation. It is not a country. It is a corporation. And within this corporation, there's workers that happen to be us. But we need to understand our roles. Why you think illegals can drive without a license? You know why? They know how to say that they're traveling and they're not driving. It's many more things, but I'm here to make sure that we become intelligent before God take me off this planet.
Thank you.
Please, Obadeli, start paying attention and take your political consulting firm to another level. The man I suggest everybody need to get to know is Kenny Williams. I'm not getting paid. I don't hang out with him. I just believe in promoting anybody that's doing God's work. Love you, Obadeli. Have a great day.
Thank you, Sister Karen. Thank you. I'll just add one plug to this. This is not a political show. Accilvus does not engage in political activity or organizing. So I want to just make that very clear. I open the lines up to really talk about community responsibilities as it relates to violence. But as many of you know, we can't escape that. You know, me being on this radio on another show, The Streets Are Talking, a shameless plug. That is a space for having that level of political engagement. I want to talk about public policy. I want to talk about community responsibility and a public health approach to addressing community violence this morning. And what are you willing to do? What role are you willing to play outside of just talking about Al Stone, we need more policing, or questioning why did 7 grocery stores close? I'll tell you why the 7 grocery stores closed, because of mismanagement of those organizations and the fact that the tax incentives that they got from our elected officials, tax incentives to come into the community. Once those tax incentives expired, they no longer wanted to be there. That's really the bottom line. These large corporations, they come in, and that's what we're talking about. Everyone has a role to play and a responsibility. That's why I support a head tax. That's why I support it 100%. These same corporations have come into our communities and robbed us. They have robbed our communities. And then when they can't rob us anymore, and that's about the taxpayers of this city and county, when there's no more tax incentives, and it no more suits their bottom line, they bail and leave. I'm talking about corporations and these corporate stores. So Yellow Banana, Save a Lot, Whole Foods, and that was the most egregious. Let me be clear. And anyway, that takes me down that political rabbit hole, because I think what happened with Whole Foods, I call it whole paychecks, and the level of tax breaks that they were able to get and incentives, $8 million from the taxpayers, and didn't stay in the freaking community for 3 years. Well, so you got to look it up. The owner of the place died, and there was some mismanagement at the top level with Yellow Banana and Save a Lot. I mean, it's infighting. So you're a smart man. I've listened to you, and so I'm engaging you on the Facebook Live. But I'm gonna go back to the calls because we got a full bank. Kenny, good morning. You on the Accilvus Hour.
Good morning. Thank you, sir, for having me. I agree with you 100% on what you just said on the corporations coming into the community. I'm walking down here. I hope I'm not advertising, but the Bud Billiken parade is today, and I'm down here walking. Great. And it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to see all of our people out here peaceful, setting up their tents, putting out the grills. The Chicago police officers are standing at their positions.
Brother Kenny,
they all excited.
Brother Kenny, I can smell the barbecue down here on 8th and Wells.
Hey, yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I agree with you, and I want you to know I'm gonna say this because somebody asked me before, what do we need to do? And I'll say this, and I hope this resonates with everyone. We have everything we need in our community to make our communities prosper. The only thing is we got to start working together. And that starts at the leadership above, getting out in their communities and engaging with their residents, not just during the time of an election, but during the whole year, the 4 years they're in. They should be able to know most people on the east, the west, the north, and the south side of their communities. And that is what's failing us. And I'm off. I just want to thank you for giving me an opportunity. And if I can give a plug to my own, Silk and Classy Barber College, Silk and Classy LLC. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
No, thank you. And listen, we're all about promoting businesses, Brother Kenny. Don't run. Let me tell you something. I wish I would have known. I'm gonna tell you this because we have a big back to school free haircut and hairdo event coming up on the 24th of this month, on the 23rd, I'm sorry, and we're going to make those announcements where children and families can take their children to get their hair done, haircut, and get backpacks and school supplies and all that stuff. I want to engage with you, brother. I think that is what it's going to take, responsible people in our community giving back. You have a barber school, you have a business.
Yes.
We need to be promoting that. Many of our young people need to figure out how do they find that next path. All of them will not go to college and fit in. You know, black folks get their hair cut and get their hair done. And we have a great responsibility. Right. So the very fact that you don't have to be a shameless plug, you keep calling. We promote businesses. We promote black businesses on this radio station. Listen, businesses create jobs. That's the bottom line. Yes. So when we come on talk, we are a non-for-profit organization, but we realize that we're not the panacea. It is going to take economics along with changing public policy to put our communities back together. And you are right. Unity and unifying, and all of us rolling up our sleeves and getting involved.
Okay.
So thank you.
Yes, sir. And I'll be in touch with you so I can find out what I can do to send some barbers and barber students out there to take care of them young boys and girls.
I want to connect with you. If you just take this number down, 312, and I'll keep mentioning it, 312-766-7145, and Bianca will connect us. And we can talk this week for certain.
All right. Thank you, sir. You have a great weekend.
You do the same, brother.
All right. Bye-bye.
Peace. Cliff from Connecticut.
Hey, Brother Obadeli, thanks for taking my call. I'll just start off, Grand Rising. Have you and our brother Art connected yet?
We have. Art and
I didn't forget.
We have talked.
Oh, great, good. Much respect, man, to both of you, man. For you for opening up the challenge and for brother Art to responding. And he does make some good points, particularly about us. But also you made some good points, Sister Karen, because it is about us. And one thing in particular, man, that you wonder why I bring it up, and it's crucial. You asked in terms of, Sister Karen said religion and Yahshua, and then you asked the name, and that is the correct name. It ain't Jesus, but our Savior, the one for us as black people, that's the name. And let me add to that, man, what does he look like?
Brother Cliff, I think he looks like whatever you want him to look like.
Okay, there you go. All right, and that's the problem.
Listen, so the Bible is very clear about it. Listen, I'm not coming on to proselytize, or
she's speaking true.
Political belief. All I can tell you is the point. You raised it. He said he had hair like lamb's wool and feet like burning brass. So you figure that out.
Exactly. So that's black. But if you ask white boys, if you ask white people that are Christian,
where he was born, it is a region of people of color. So I can assume that. But here's the deal, right? At the end of the day, brother.
But let me make one point though, brother Obadeli.
Cliff.
All I'm simply saying is that for white Christians that are in control now, that are Republicans, they don't believe that. They believe that their Jesus and is white, and that what gives them that superiority. So what I'm saying that all this, you got to incorporate all this financing, education, everything got to be black, and that's where I'm at. And that does not make you a racist. That makes you with high self-esteem, and that's critical and crucial, and that's for the reason why we at. So let me end by saying this: down in Mississippi, there's 3 more lynchings within a week, 2-week span. In addition to Nolan Wells being murdered, but yet we, with our lack of self-love, we got more crime that we do amongst ourselves. So I got to fight White Boy Jim because he says we kill each other more than any white person does, and that's a problem. And now you wonder why I bring up, man, why we need to have self-esteem.
two things can be true. Here's the bottom line. We do suffer from this level of fratricism. White folks kill white people, and black people kill black people. Unfortunately, we kill each other at a higher rate. He's not wrong about that. And then let me just push back with you. I get it. One thing, it's hard for me to have these conversations with you sometime, brother, because I think you come on. I think your heart's in the right place. No, I know your heart's in the right place. I just think
But
the
yeah,
information
because it's
that you give
pro-black.
is
I
kind
love
of
my people.
It's
Period.
skewed, Cliff. I mean, they've already ruled 2 of the hangings suicides.
Hey, you believe in you believe that?
You don't believe that black? Oh, wait, Cliff. In today's time,
Oh my God.
Cliff, I'm asking you a question now, sir. Where we're seeing black children murdering their parents and loved ones across this country at alarming rates, and I know for a fact, being in this space, which is why we need behavioral health services. And I'm so glad that we're championing it more here in Cook County and the city of Chicago, because our people are suffering from some real mental health disorder and challenges, Cliff. Suicide, we've talked about this. Suicide is up. All right, well, Cliff, I can't, you know what, man?
I'm just saying, so
you've come to your determination about what's happening in Mississippi, and you think all 3 of them were murdered. I'm going to let you have that. Is there anything else you want to say?
It's a lynching, and that's what they do.
Okay, you think they were lynched? Okay, I can tell you that I disagree with you, Cliff. I disagree with you.
Well, it's obvious.
All right, take care, brother.
Bad.
Brother Chris, good morning. You're on the Accilvus Hour.
Hey, what's up, Brother Obadeli?
I'm great, man. I'm great. And Cliff, let me just add this, Brother Chris, before you go. I do believe that racism still exists in this country. I want to make that very clear. Go ahead, Brother Chris. I'm sorry.
Shout out to the WBON family, and I'm glad we still got the Bud Billiken Day parade.
So am I.
And
I can't wait to get out there.
Yeah, and put with the going back to school, get the young folks on a good trajectory, and for our beautiful city, brother. Thanks, Obadeli.
No, thank you. Are you going to the parade today, Brother Chris?
For a little bit, yes, sir.
Yeah, hope to see you out there. I'll be somewhere around there. You'll run into
me. Hey, can you do me a favor, Obadeli?
Yes, sir.
Can you give me some gas money for my car since gas is so high?
Yeah, well, maybe I can, but I think I'll try to find Dr. Willie Wilson. He probably will have a gas giveaway soon. Okay.
All right, Obadeli.
Peace. Brother Tommy, good morning. You're on the Accilvus Hour.
Obadeli, I just simply called to say good morning and say thank you for what you do. It's so disconcerting to hear the remarks and the conversation and individuals using the reality of our plight for the absolute unequivocal nonsense. I just want to ask Chicago one damn question, and that question is going to be, what are you going to do when every damn thing that I've told you guys are true? Listen to what they say, watch what they do. And at a point like now, to call and besiege this platform that was given to us by principled individuals trying to lead us through this wilderness. I am 74 years old, and all I've ever heard from a bunch of crime it's unbelievable. Undamn believable, man. Processes to help you go forward. And we're so messed up that we won't even use the process, and then we turn around and say, all we need to do is get together. No, all we need to do is listen to individuals like yourself, respect a platform like this, understand that these people don't like us, never liked us, never will like us. Now, the question simply becomes, for your so-called community code of conducts and family values, what the hell y'all been doing all this time? Goodbye.
Thank you, Brother Tommy. All right, we're going down the line. Brother Randy, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, Brother Randy. How are you?
Good. I'm hope you and your family, everybody as well. I'm going to be brief and everything like that. I appreciate much what you're doing, and I think the solution is as one of the calls mentioned about us coming together, about us uniting as people and everything. And I just want to say, I want to let people know that you're absolutely right about ShotSpotter. There was a J. Roderick MacArthur Foundation study, as well as the Brennan study, that showed that ShotSpotter does not work, that here in Chicago, they spent approximately 46 to $53 million when they down. David Moore, alderman, he said they spent about $53 million. This is about 2 years ago when I had an exchange with Alderman Moore on WON. When he was supporting ShotSpotter, and it does not work. As a matter of fact, Rob McKay even mentioned that it does not work according to the various studies and stuff that came out about it. So
imagine, Randy, but imagine this, right? You have people who are, engaging in this hyperbole about ShotSpotter and want to go. It made a bunch of corporate guys wealthy. And you think about the $53 million. If that $53 million was directly invested into young people on the southwest side, on the southeast side, in these 22 communities where there's high level of violence, if it was invested in job training, character development programs, if it was invested in housing to help build sustainable housing, or put some of that money put back into the public school system. Listen, man, I'm it's very frustrating to listen to people talk about things and they have no knowledge of, or they just refuse to listen to logic, or if you refuse to watch or listen to any studies that have been given. Chicago is not the only city that got rid of ShotSpotter. There were other major large cities who dumped it as well because it's useful technology. It is useless technology.
And you're right. And
ineffective.
And to interject real quick, is ineffective, you're absolutely correct, and Stone is wrong. He's absolutely incorrect. And think about where does he get information and stuff from. See, my thing is the problem I have is that you have people like Alexis Junius, the Secretary of State, who is running for mayor. He's been coming on. He said some things that are very kind of disrespectful in the mayor, but he doesn't talk about the Broadway Bank, the failed Broadway Bank that his family have controlled since the 1970s and stuff. And they found that 4 people from the top officials from Broadway Bank contribute money to his campaign. He does not talk about the Bright Start program, right? That they ripped off, messed up the $150 million. $150 million to families that need that money for their family and stuff like that, and to children. So the Bright Start program. But he has the audacity to come on and talk about people. And even with the Broadway Bank, his Broadway Bank had loaned money to gangsters. He gave money, even helped arrest code. Well,
Randy, Brother Randy, I appreciate you, man. This is not the show necessarily.
I know you're not the platform,
but I appreciate you. I appreciate
you. And I'm gonna say again, I appreciate you and your birthday. I'm glad. I hope you enjoy your birthday. But I'm gonna say this real quick: Unity is coming together. Working. I'm gonna be out. I'm going on my way to Operation Push. Then I'm gonna go to the Bud Billiken Parade from there for Operation Push and stuff. So I just want people to come out and support. Support the people in the community and support what we're doing and stuff. And also, I just want to make sure that we have, that we come together, that we help the young people stuff, and that this whole team takeover stuff, that we can correct. That's nothing. I mean, that stuff have that. And like you said, that money was invested in them. You wouldn't have all this. So keep up the good work.
I appreciate you, Brother Randy.
I appreciate you.
I'll see you out there on the parade route. I'll see you out there on the parade route.
I'll see you out there. Sure.
Yes, sir.
Take care.
Good morning, Brother Michael. You're on the Accilvus Hour.
Hi, good morning. First of all, let me just say Randy is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. This show, well, you also are correct. And I want to say happy birthday to you and a belated happy birthday to Melody.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. I turned 54. 54.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I'm 69. And with that being said, look, I'd like people to become more educated about what's happening in our community and deal with the stats. The stats speak for themselves. They don't deal with the biases. So those stats that are concerning the 22 communities out of the 77 here in Chicago, if people take the time to look at them, they will understand better what we're dealing with. I'd also like to recommend a book called America USA by Eddie S. Gauld, Glaude Jr. This man is a Princeton, he's a Princeton professor, Yale also. He's African American and he does public policy. Now, you know that I know public policy.
One of the best. You're one of the best. You're one of the best. And that's the only point that I'm making, Mike. I think really what goes over most individuals' head, and maybe that's a show that we just talk about the public policy and how we got here. I think that's highly important to talk about policy and bad public policy that was pushed on our people.
Yes, this investment was bad public policy. It started the disinvestment in the African American community, where actually we've always had some people that know their history.
One that I can just think of, Mike. I'm talking over you. Go ahead, brother. We got a full bank of calls, so I'm gonna let you get in, and then go ahead.
It's Eddie S. Gauld, Glaude Jr. He's a professor of public policy and history at Princeton. I would suggest that those individuals who don't understand what's going on or get their information from an editorial television, i.e. Fox and all of that madness, to look for yourself. Go to the library. And not for the library, not just for young people. It's for everybody who wants to learn. And with that, I'll say good day and thank you for doing what you're doing, because it helps us nationally.
Thank you, Brother Michael. And before you go, what I wanted to mention, the most egregious ripoff, in my opinion, in modern time, was the ripoff of the empowerment zone money, the empowerment zone dollars, how they were misused by Richard Daley. Money that was meant primarily for investments on the south and west side was taken and diverted downtown.
Yeah, they took it and they rehabbed downtown, kept that going, and did stuff on North Michigan Avenue.
Oh, man.
And all you got to do
the incentives that those businesses got to be on State Street, the building up of anyway, I can go on infinitum, but that's a more deeper conversation, brother.
That other mayoral candidate who's talking all of the madness, as far as Alexis Giuliani, people need to look at what Randy was talking about.
Yeah.
He ripped off our community. His family ripped off our community, and now he comes back because we don't have.
Hey, Mike, I gotta jump, brother. I gotta jump because I've had callers holding on for more than 20 minutes. But I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Take care. Good morning, Brother Jason. You're on the Accilvus Hour.
Hey, good morning, man. I've listened to you. This is the first time I've ever called you, and I wanted to respectfully, number one, compliment you for your agenda. I also have a birthday coming up. I believe we're both Leos.
Yeah. Mine was August 4th.
But I like your style.
Happy birthday.
And I'm a little older than I sound, but I did grow up at 1230 North Larrabee. And the Lindsays and the Yanceys were my neighbors. Marvin Yancey married Natalie Cole. Yep. So you'll know who that I'm not talking out of the side of my mouth. The one thing I would like to see someone like you do, because you have a lot of appeal because of your genuineness. I heard you the other day, and it looks like you all in for Brandon Johnson, and that's wonderful. The only thing I would tell you or ask you to do when you talk to this cat is to tell him to chill out with his arrogance. He talks down at people. If you ever met a woman that you cared about and she talks to you in a condescending way, you know, you resent that. And he talks like he's smarter than everyone else. And that's where I wish he would just tone that down and just be a little bit more humble. He's too cocky for a guy that just hit the political spectrum. A lot of the stuff he's saying is valid. He's also kissing the black community's rear end now because he took care of all of those Julios and he knows now that that's hurting him politically. But that's the only thing. If you do converse with him, is now he's quoting the Bible and all that other stuff when he speaks, and and Chicago is not the biggest, safest city. My brother just got carjacked, so I don't want to hear that rubbish. But if you could do that, Obadeli, I think that may help him for whatever chance he has, and that's why he's chilling on that announcement, because he knows he's in hot water. So I hope that makes a little sense to you.
Hey, brother, I respect you and respect your opinion, man. I got it. I'm trying not to comment so much politically because this is not a political show, right? So, and it's hard, right? It's hard because I kind of wear two hats. I have a job, this is my job. Like, I work for this organization. It's a great organization. But in my professional business, I run a decent political consulting firm, right? But nonetheless, I heard you. I'm sure that he might be even listening. So it'll get back to the mayor for certain, man. And thank you for your sincerity. I appreciate that. I appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
All right, take care. All right, good morning, Sister Kay. You are, and I'm sorry for holding you on so long, Kay.
Oh, no, that's okay. How are y'all doing? I'm so happy to talk to you this morning. You're right on track. Economics and crime does go together. I have a flyer. My neighbor was a contractor, I think a plumber, and his children are in the trades, and he's having a career fair August 18th. So I can send you the flyer on your WVON website.
Why don't you announce it now, Kay? It could be helpful.
Okay. Let me see. Hold on.
If you have the information.
Yeah, and anybody 18 and over can attend. Even if you have anything on your record, you can still be a contractor. I mean, be a plumber, carpenter, bricklayer, that type thing, because that's what the jobs are. Because his passion is getting the young people in these, and it's the 4th annual Building Trade Fair. It's going to be August 14th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and it's going to be at St. John the Baptist Temple Community Development Corporation, and that's at 9319 9319 South Cottage Grove. And I can post this in the chat, and then we can get our young people into these things, because we have to start looking at stuff.
And I'll keep sharing it. And, we need more people that are helping get our young people into the trades. I can think of
Right, and we have to look at things with a third
over
eye.
at St. Paul. Yes, I think as many. Listen, we need as many trade programs, construction trade programs, the barber and beauty colleges, all of everything that's going to help change and elevate our young people into becoming successful, productive citizens. We need to be pushing it.
Yes, because like you said, everybody's not going to college. He has 3 children, I think, and they didn't go to college, but they're making over 6 figures in these trades. So the other thing I was going to say, we have to look at things with a third eye. I totally agree with Sister Karen about 2 Chronicles 7:14. We have to humble ourselves and pray, and we got to read the whole scripture. Turn from our wicked ways. We can't be out there being wicked thinking God is going to bless us, because he's not. So with all this stuff going on, Save-A-Lot was my store. And I was sad because the people that had been there for 10 years, they lost their jobs. However, these grocery stores are poisoning us with the produce and stuff. So now we need to turn to the farmers. We got all these farmers markets. Let's turn to the farmers and get our fruits and vegetables from them. I have another flyer in Avalon Park. Every Friday, there's a farmers market. There's farmers markets all over the city. So we got to get these black farmers, because everything is not bad. God is closing everything up and shifting and stuff for us to get ourselves together. So we can't just look at it as a negative. I hate that Save-A-Lot closed, but now we need to look to the farmers, because we shouldn't be eating that food anyway out of the stores, because you see it's killing people.
Well,
so we got to look at stuff with a third eye.
You put it out there. I got 7 calls in 7 minutes, so I got to move. But appreciate
all right.
you.
God
Thank
bless
you, sister. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Brother Calvin, good morning. You're on the Accilvus Hour.
Hey, good morning, Brother Daddy. How you been?
I'm great, brother. How are you?
Okay, I'll make this quick. I want to talk about a project that I'm going to be working on with Brother Randy and Brother Robert McKay.
Okay.
About the infrastructure money. $626 billion has been set aside coming down for that. And I went to Illinois Toll Road. They got $1.79 billion. City of Chicago, $5 billion for their railroad thing. The state of Illinois, over $50 billion. Chicago Housing Authority, $1 billion. Cook County Board, $10 $10.12 billion.
Well, Brother
All
Kelvin,
this
how
money
do we get our people involved in these projects?
we get okay. There's a thing inside of it. CFR 24. You know, and then that's
Yeah,
what
I'm familiar with the CFR, the federal rules. I'm familiar. Go ahead. I'm cutting you off. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, go ahead. So you know that puts us in there as far as you can't say black anymore with the president, but they're for low income workers. You know, and Section 3 people, the people living in housing where they're getting some kind of assistance. You know, they changed the rules now where it has to be 25% of all labor hours have to be completed by Section 3 workers. You know, and then at least 5% of total in total hours worked. So what's happening is we have to get in there and make sure
who's the Section 3 monitor now? Who's the Section 3 monitor now, Brother Calvin? Quickly.
Are we searching that right now?
Okay.
It's hidden. It's hidden somewhere. Brother Robert and Brother Randy and I, you know, and we could probably gonna need the help of your political consulting firm to get through this red tape and, you know, go to Washington, D.C. and probably meet with this Representative Pete Buttigieg, who came out with this, you know, who brought first bar to committee and see where we could get some regulation with teeth in it. Because the regulation is there, but like you just said, you spot it out right away, but over there. Who is regulating these people and making sure this is getting done, you know, and
listen, I believe in dropping your bucket where you are, Brother Calvin. We need to go over there and ask Matthew Brewer and ask this Pettigrew how are they enforcing the Section 3? Go ahead.
Yeah, Matthew Brewer is very important for us here in the city of Chicago. But, you know, I think, you know, we need a lot. He needs a little more help, and he needs a little bit more help with the people in the city of Chicago, especially fighting for our young people to help him push this too. You know, because you just can't give our representatives a job or people within a job and don't show that the people are behind them. That's what me. You know that.
Right. Appreciate you, Brother Calvin. Keep me informed, man. Any way that I can help, you know, you in this process, I'm all down for it. Listen, economics is a major part of why we have so much crime in our communities. I'm going to stand on that. Economics. Yes. A man, listen, men and women need to be able to go to work to feed their families and take care of their families. We have to focus on economics, Al Stone, while you're running around Crystal Lake and Romeoville. Why don't you roam around in Austin or South Shore or Inglewood or Auburn Gresham, West Chatham? Right. All right.
Right.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, Calvin. Thank you.
And we're going to try to do a Zoom meeting about this.
For certain. Brother Andre, good morning. You on the Accilvus Hour.
Hey, good morning to you, brother. Hopefully you're feeling well this morning. Let me just say this first of all. You know, I don't like it when these women call the station and they want to preach to us and talk about turn away from our wicked ways. Just let me say 99% of black people in this world is doing good and living right. You just got a handful of blacks that's out here shooting and killing. So don't say that we need to turn from our wicked ways so we can get blessed. Majority of us are doing good. Second of all, I think Chris has an unhealthy obsession with white people and racism. I'm out in the public every single day around white men, white women, and white kids, and they ain't never talk as disrespectful as Chris. This is why we can't get along, because his obsession with racism, he has an unhealthy obsession with it. He called him want to argue with you over the radio about white folk and whatnot. What you believe about God, that's your opinion. Yeah, it felt like burning brass and whatnot. But you got more white people out here going to church every Sunday worshiping Jesus than you do blacks. So he has an unhealthy obsession with that. And this is why black men can't get along with one another, because our obsession with white folks and racism is so bad till it drives us to the point to disrespect each other. And it's not just you. He called Salim show and he argues with Salim about the same exact thing, white folks and racism. So he definitely has an unhealthy obsession with it, and he needs some help, some psychological help with his bigotry and his racism, because you have an intellectual show and you call and you want to discuss ideas and the thought process, but he doesn't call with any ideas and thoughts. He calls with his racist views, his racism. If you don't like white people, that's okay. But when it gets to the point where it's unhealthy, then you need some psychological help, because it's affecting how you get along with your brother man. Lastly, about the shot spotter. When we came up, we didn't have no shot spotters. We had parents, and we had that siren that went off every night at 10 o'clock to let you know that it's curfew, and WVON would say, parents, it's 10 o'clock, do you know where your children are? If we get back to the basics and raise our kids in the community like we're supposed to, we don't need no shot spotters. We just need to produce a better parenting. It's just like Bernie Mac said in the Kings of Comedy when Bernie Mac said, he said, the problem we got ain't the kids. The problem we got is we got some punk parents out here. And I think that's where they got to start at.
Well, Brother Andre, you put it out there. We got 2 minutes left, and I'm going to try to squeeze in my last two callers, Jihad and Brother Jim. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, brother.
Yes. Brother Jihad, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you and the viewing family. I want to say that on this mayor's watch, crime went down, and we had a good superintendent, and those jobs he made for the kids for summer, that was a big contributing factor, and a few more things. But I would like to know where I can catch up with you, Obadeli, because you got a petition I want to sign, and I would like to sign with you.
I can tell you one thing. I'm going to be out at the Buck Milliken Parade today. You can catch me out there on my own time. I'll be at the Buck Milliken Parade around 40th and King Drive, somewhere in there. But, hey, brother, appreciate you.
I look for you.
Thank you.
Right, thanks. All right.
Jim, you're my last caller.
Yes, sir. Anyway, not much time. You talk about jobs and opportunities in Chicago. You're absolutely correct. Well, remember before I said, why don't you have my friend Gary Rabine on that moved his companies out of Illinois and ask him why? And when people leave Illinois, that's because of the way things are run here in Illinois.
Pay taxes, Jim. He doesn't want to contribute.
No, that's not the
he
case
doesn't
at all.
want to contribute. He doesn't want to pay his fair share.
Why don't you interview him, my friend?
He don't want to pay his fair share, Jim. No, I'm not going to do that, Jim. Listen, these corporations.
Then you're going to keep on complaining about things that you complain about.
No, what we're going to do, there's going to be a millionaire's tax. In my mind, a billionaire's tax, and people are going to pay their fair share. These corporations.
And guess what? Hello, Florida.
Oh,
hello, other states. That's the competition,
guarantee
my friend.
you, Jim, they're not all going to move to Florida, buddy.
Well, they're leaving Illinois.
That's not true. Listen, Jim, are you going to argue with the data facts and go to the Cranes magazine showing business growth and travel in the state of Illinois, but specifically Chicago, Jim?
Okay, people are tourists, but jobs are leaving. Look at this resale.
Jim, that is not.
Hold on. Hey, bro, let me finish. Why are the buildings that were sold for hundreds of $millions years ago selling for 25% of what they were worth 20 years ago?
Are you not going to talk about the role that COVID played in people leaving and people working from home, and now we have this insurgent of AI?
There was a lot of COVID misinformation, my friend. That's again why Florida.
Listen, the time has come. They're playing the music, my man. I appreciate you. Your information is wrong. Sorry, Chris, unless I could not get to you. Listen, brothers and sisters, this has been great. If you want to see Sister Katrina, she will be over at our Play Streets in North Lawndale today between 2 and 5 p.m. at 21st and Pulaski. That's 21st and Pulaski. Go out. You'll see our staff out there engaging with the community at a high level as our Play Street initiative. Well, the time has come, brothers and sisters. I'm rushing to get off the air. You have been listening to the Accilvus Hour. For more information, again, www.accilvusinc.org or 312-766-7145. I hope you guys go out and enjoy the Buck Milliken Parade today, and I'm on my way there. So on behalf of Levon Stone Sr. and our entire board of directors, it's been great. Peace and great things. We out of here.